Let's talk about this with Gregg, Jarrett, Fox News legal analyst, and Mollie Hemingway, editor-in-chief of The Federalist. Welcome to both of you. Mollie Hemingway, you first. What do you make of this thing? I don't know. Treachery, sordid, subversion. I mean, there's all kinds of adjectives can be used. But this was one unsavory, sordid part of American history, that's for sure. How do you see it, Mollie?
Objectively speaking, this is the worst scandal we've ever seen from our government in our nation's history. And these recent disclosures of information, I'm sure Gregg will agree with me, as people who have covered the Russia collusion hoax for many years, are so helpful at understanding precisely how the hoax got going. And yes, it is this intelligence community assessment that is ordered by Obama at a time when actually the intelligence is suggesting the opposite of what that ICA eventually says, the intelligence community assessment. And what we learned from these documents is that people within the intelligence community were pretty much screaming from the rooftops that they did not believe that the intelligence supported the idea that Putin was trying to help Trump, and yet Brennan and other bad actors just shut them down, ignored them, told them that they were all wet, and just pushed through anyway so that this thing could get going. And of course, it was so damaging to that first Trump administration. It's a really big deal.
I mean, Gregg, Jarrett, a lot of people, look, I'm no expert. You wrote a book on the subject. Mollie's written about it. I'm just saying a lot of people, even in the intelligence area, even whistleblowers coming to the front now, they said this thing should have been dead and buried a long time ago. The question is, all right, Brennan, sure. Comey, sure. Okay, they probably wanted to resuscitate it. What role did former President Barack Obama play if there was a resuscitation of these phony charges that were, whatever we're going to call them, treacherous or sordid or subversion or whatever? What role did he play?
Role in all of this, overseeing it. And I think President Trump's venom is understandable as directed against Barack Obama. And Comey, Brennan, and Clapper, I call them the three stooges of Obama's national security team. You know, the documents show that all of them were aiding and abetting the scheme cooked up by Hillary Clinton to frame Trump as a Russian asset, even though they knew at the outset it was all fabricated. Here's the thing, Larry. Instead of stepping forward and telling the truth to the American people in the summer of 2016 when they knew it, they kept silent. And they watched as James Comey launched his damaging investigation of Trump without any credible evidence. And these new declassified documents show how they scuttled an intel briefing that concluded there was no Russian interference and conspired to replace it with an intelligence assessment that said just the opposite. And then, to make matters worse, they inserted the phony dossier into that intelligence assessment, pretending it was true, even though the FBI had already debunked it. Clapper then leaked the dossier to CNN, and the mainstream media was off and running, convicting Trump in the court of public opinion without ever a shred of any plausible evidence. It truly was the dirtiest trick in American political history.
You know, Mollie, my history here is imperfect, to be sure. But as I recall the story, even before Mr. Trump was inaugurated in January of 2017, even before he was actually sworn in, Comey meets with him, Brennan meets with him, I don't know, Clapper was probably there. I'm not sure who all was there, but those guys were there. And they're telling him he's in deep trouble because of X, Y, and Z, even though X, Y, and Z were a pack of lies and that they had resuscitated those lies. And then later on, we found out that whistleblowers also said that there were a bunch of lies. But they actually went in before he was actually sworn in as president and told him they're going to go after him, and then just plagued most of his first term. I mean, really? How is this possible? How can this go unpunished? That's what I'm asking. I'm not the lawyer. I'm not a cop. I'm a journalist. I just want to know, how can this possibly go unpunished?
Well, again, Obama may have immunity for what he did, but that is what is so interesting about this. That meeting that you're talking about was where they delivered this intelligence assessment to Obama and to Trump. The ordering of that assessment was done by Obama precisely so that it could be briefed to Trump and that it could be leaked that it was briefed to Trump. This is what got the entire Russia collusion hoax going. Normally, an intelligence assessment would take months, maybe years to put together. They put it together in 2 weeks, precisely so that CNN could leak the details of this dossier and that Trump's presidency could be destroyed. Efforts to destroy a presidency are seditious, and this is a very serious issue for these leaders in the intel community. And I think that they should be much more worried about the legal consequences, unfortunately, than Obama should.
Yes, well, I love that word, seditious. Got to put that back into the riff. That's a fabulous word. I was groping for that word for the last hour or so. It's absolutely perfect, the word seditious. And Gregg, Jarrett, I mean, Steele was a lying paid informant who was actually fired. Now, they built that up. Hillary's campaign or the Hillary Foundation or something financed this whole thing. But Brennan knew that, didn't he? Comey knew that, didn't he? Did Obama know that the Steele dossier was a fraud to begin with?
There were 2 meetings. July 28th was the first one at the White House. Obama was there, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, Biden. And, Brennan had rushed over to tell him what Hillary had done, invented this thing, and had commissioned a dossier, was financing it. Steele was triple dipping. He was getting paid by the FBI, by Hillary Clinton's campaign, and the DNC. And at one point in time, the FBI found out he was lying, so they fired him. Well, did Comey tell the FISA court when he sought those warrants to spy? No. He, in fact, vouched for Steele, saying he was credible and reliable, and didn't tell the judges, oh, by the way, we fired him, and oh, by the way, we've also debunked the dossier. No, they used it to manipulate the justice system for surveillance purposes on the Trump campaign.
Mollie Hemingway, I'm going to jump shift. The same crowd, the same group of lovelies was at it again with the Hunter Biden laptop cover-up. Same group. Clapper in the lead, Brennan in the lead, 51 intel people. All right, now this is in September-ish of the, late September of the 2020 election. They put together, 51 intel people say it was all Russian disinformation. Here we go again. Russia, Russia, Russia. Continues to play. And they continue to lie. And it turns out the FBI had the damn thing and knew all about it, as did other people. And yet this lie and this cover-up and this left-wing media collusion continued. So, I'm just thinking as we're talking about this, and I'm reading about this in recent days, Mollie Hemingway, no wonder President Trump gets pretty angry about this stuff. Here it goes. I mean, you can't blame the guy. I know this is a providential presidency. He's there because God wanted to save him. I get all that. But sometimes you're allowed to get angry. I mean, here it goes all over again. And he believes his own Justice Department should have an objective, analytical view of this whole story. You can't blame him for getting a little angry. Can you, Mollie Hemingway? Really?
Well, Larry, not just the president, but a lot of Americans are livid about this as well.
Yes.
And I think it's worth remembering that none of this would be possible without a complicit media that willingly participate in these info ops perpetrated by bad actors in the intelligence community. Some of the same people who uncritically regurgitated the Russia collusion hoax also uncritically regurgitated the lie that Hunter Biden's evidence of family business corruption was a Russian plant. And they do it with other situations as well. They have destroyed Americans' trust, whatever trust they should have had, in the intelligence community because of how they've politicized things and because of how the media have gone along with this. And instead of getting awards, they should be ignored or, in fact, I think maybe some of their role in the Russia collusion hoax might need to be investigated as well.
Seditious, Mollie. It's a terrific word. Wish I had thought of it, but we're going to put it to work, give you full faith and credit for it. Thanks to both of you. It's a pleasure to see you both again. Mollie Hemingway, Gregg, Jarrett, we appreciate it very, very much.